Hello, everyone. I am coming to you with today's devotional. We will be coming from the book of Psalms, chapter 23, and it reads as follows. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The word for today is the enemy tried to kill me, but the good shepherd said not yet. I know a lot of us, since March of this year, we've been dealing with the pandemic, just dealing with the loss of jobs, finances, just the loss of a lot of things, lives, many lives. And we just been going through we just been going through the motions of things, trying to get adjusted to our new norm. We trying to adjust to the way of life now, and still trying to maintain a sense of peace, a sense of understanding, a sense of, God, how am I going to do this? How am I going to navigate through this? And it's a lot of people dealing with various things, depression, anxiety, different things, anger, a lot of things, because you've been placed in an unfamiliar feeling. None of us have never experienced a pandemic and of this sort. Now, us dealing with pandemics in our lives, many of us have, because we have dealt with things that has been catastrophic. We at the time may not have known that it was a pandemic moment, but now since this COVID-19 has come about, everybody is getting a more in-depth understanding of the word pandemic. If we look at it, the word panic, it's associated with that. So it's a place to where, as though the enemy want us to be. He want us to be in a place of panic, but that's not what God want us to be. God want us to be in a place of peace. He want us to be in a place of rest with him. Even though we're in a situation that we still trust our God. We see in this passage, for one, the greatest of them all is in verse 1. He is our shepherd. He is the one that looks over us. He is the one that watches over us. He is the one that gives us everything that we ever need. Even while we're going through a hard situation, even when we're going through a difficult time, he is right here with us. So let us not never forget that he is our shepherd. He is our everything, our Jehovah Jireh. He loves us. And a shepherd watches over his flock. So that's the first part that I want us to get. In verse 2, he has given us, it says, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. So he's given us a place of rest. Even though we're in a pandemic, he wants us to rest in him. He's given us a particular place to go to get rest. And we can always rest in Jesus. That's what he wants us to do. He wants us to cast everything over to him. Cast it over to him. Verse 3, he restoreth my soul. He's given me a place of restoration, restoring me in the midst of a situation. A lot of people can look at you and you may be going through something. They be like, well, why can that person go through that? And they're facing this right now, because the God that we serve, he will give you peace and restoration in the midst of a chaotic situation. Okay, moving on. Verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. If you notice, it says walk through. So that means even though I'm going through a pandemic moment, the Lord hasn't allowed the enemy to knock me off my feet. He has allowed me to still be in a standing position, walking through. That means I'm coming through. Whenever you walking through something, that means that something else is on the other side. And on the other side is the victory in Jesus. That's what it is. I thank God. It been plenty of things that have literally took a mighty blow at me, but the Lord didn't let me fall. He allowed my feet to keep walking. He allowed me to keep walking through those valleys, keep walking through those desert places, through those dry places, over those mountains. And he allowed me to walk through them. Walk through them. Even right now, I'm walking through something. Because I know that on the other side, there is victory. There is victory in Jesus. Okay, moving right on. Verse 5. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. You see right there, he done prepared us right in the midst of the enemy. So now he already knew this pandemic was going to come, but he gonna even place us right in the vicinity of the enemy. But you see it, he said, "Thou anointest that my head with oil." So he has anointed you. He has anointed you from your mind to understand that. Even though I'm going through this pandemic, I am going to anoint your mind that it won't be able to take you out of here. That I'm still going to sustain you. I'm still going to keep you in the midst of a pandemic. Even when some people, your mind has gone way somewhere else, and that's all right. That's where you are. That's why you have warriors praying on your behalf, interceding on your behalf. Everybody is not at the same level, and you can't judge somebody for where they are in this pandemic. Pray for them, because at some point and moment in your life, somebody prayed in your pandemic moment, and that prayer brought you out by the grace of God. Going on to verse 6. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That word surely, that's it, and it's all. That's a guarantee that God will be with you forever. He said goodness and mercy shall follow you. So that means that goodness and mercy, wherever you go, is right behind you. So even though the pandemic may seem as if it's winning, no, it's not. That thing that thought it was going to take you out, it didn't. Why? Because surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. God has given us grace and mercy. He has given us assurance. If we even go back to verse 1, it automatically gives us the key to what's holding us, the good shepherd. That's exactly what it's saying. And that's exactly what it is. Because God is upholding us in this season. Even when we thought that the situation was going to be worse than what it was, he said, no, not yet. I'm going to give you finances that you didn't even sow into. I'm going to give you peace in your mind that you don't even deserve. He wants us to understand that he is the good shepherd, even in the midst of a pandemic, even in the midst of so many things going on. God is God all by himself. And he wants us to understand that. We have to get that in our mind. Even prior to the pandemic, whatever didn't kill you, thank God that it didn't. Thank God for that goodness and mercy. Thank God that that car accident that should have took me out of here if I would have left out a few minutes earlier. But he didn't.